Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki is a starting point for anyone looking to gain control of their financial future. Hello everyone, welcome to Sri Ediki official YouTube channel. In today's video, we are summarizing a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is the #1 personal finance book of all time. So without wasting time, let's go deep into this book. Robert had two fathers, a rich one and a poor one. His real dad was a poor one in this story. His own dad was highly educated and a PhD degree holder and a great professor. But he always struggled for money. Rich Dad is not his own dad, it's his friend Mike's dad, who was not good at school and left school before he finished 8th grade. Both men were successful in their career, yet one always struggled financially. The other would become one of the richest men in Hawaii. Robert was offered advice by both of them, but they did not advise same thing. For example, one dad would say the love of money is the root of all evil. The other said the lack of money is the root of all evil. One dad recommend study hard so you can find a good company to work for. The other recommend study hard so you can find a good company to buy. Both dads were successful and intelligent in their career, but why their advice are vast difference. This book is written in a simple language and give the life lesson on finance. To achieve financial freedom, this book is must for anyone. Robert decided to take advice from his rich dad. He pointed out the major difference between the people. Now I'm gonna share with you what I have found something relevant after reading this book. First thing that I have learned from this book is the rich don't work for money. Poor and middle class people work just to earn money, but this rule is not applicable for rich people. What we think is money is something which was taught in our school, but what we fail to understand is school teacher used to do work for money. They are the slave to money, and we learn from those who is totally controlled by it. Rich people make money their slave. They don't work 24/7 to earn money. They are wise enough to understand the rules of money. A nice car and a nice house don't necessarily mean you are rich or you know how to make money. Showing off is not a habit of rich. Rich people always try to learn then to earn. They believe that life is the best teacher of all. Each push in the life is saying, wake up, there is something I want you to learn. Most of the people want to start something new, but the fear of losing was greater than the excitement of winning. That's why most of the people run for money for their lifetime. In this book, Robert gives us idea about importance of financial literacy. Money is power, but what the more powerful is financial education. Lack of financial education is the main problem, and we are facing this problem because financial education is not taught in schools. Always remember, it's not about how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. And we can apply it practically only by financial literacy. We have to know about income statement and balance sheet. Income and expenses are included in income statement, and assets and liabilities in balance sheet. Now the question may arise in your mind, assets, liabilities, what is it? An asset is something that puts money in your pocket with minimum labor or without labor. A liability takes money out of your pocket. That means asset increases your source of income and liability increases your expenses. Now let's have a look on poor people cash flow. You can see it clearly, the asset column is completely empty, as they don't have financial education. Their expenses column is full, that's why they are becoming poor and poor. Now have a look on middle class cash flow. Their liabilities column are full. They acquire liabilities that they think are assets, like home loan, car loan, credit card loans, etc. Middle class people always struggle because their liability column is so strong. Now rich people cash flow looks like this. Their asset column is very strong, which generates them passive income all the time, and they are getting richer and richer. They invest money in assets like in stocks, bonds, royalties, etc. that makes them financially secure in the future. Money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. If your pattern is to spend everything you get, increase in cash will just result in an increase in spending. Why do rich getting richer and middle class struggle? The answer is rich people make their asset column strong by decreasing their expenses, and middle class people's liability column is so strong as the expenses is high. The poor only have expenses. The middle class acquires liabilities that they think are assets, and rich people acquires real assets such as stocks, bonds, income generating real estate, business that do not require represents, royalties from intellectual properties like music, script, patents, etc. Let's take an example. For rich people, house is a liability as bigger home mean bigger expenses, whereas for poor, they think that house is an asset. Robert says that you work for the company, not for you, because the increase in income are going to entrepreneurs and investors, not to the employee who work for money. You work for the bank because before tax, the largest expenses is usually your mortgage and credit card debt. The vast majority of people allow the money to control them. Most people are trying to build an Empire State Building in a 6-inch slab. It's all because of lack of financial education. Always try to be wealthy rather than to be rich. Wealth is, if I stop working today, how long could I survive? This book gives us a great lesson on financial aptitude and importance of financial education in early age. Next thing I have learned from this book is mind your own business. As we knew, the rich focus on their asset column while everyone else focus on their income statement. Financial struggle is often the result of people working all their lives for someone else. If you want to become financially secure, start minding your own business. Keep your daytime job, but start buying real assets, not liabilities. An important distinction is that rich people buy luxuries last, while the poor class tend to buy luxuries first with their own sweat, blood and children's inheritance. The best thing about money is it works 24 hours a day. In this book, Robert gives us great lesson about taxes and power of corporations. As long as person work for money, they will pay tax. The rich will never be taxed. More and more often, we see government use the tax law to provide incentive to business owner and investor to create jobs and housing. This incentive reduces the tax of the rich. So the only place for the government to drive tax revenue is from the middle class. Owning business and investing help to grow economy of the country. That's why there is tax deduction for the rich people. If you are willing to invest, the tax law will work in your favor. And if you want to just spend money and buy liabilities, the tax law won't give you break. Wealthy people control everything but own nothing, whereas middle and poor class try to own everything and lose it to the government. Employees own, get taxed and they try to live on what is left. A corporation owned, spend everything it can and is taxed on anything that is left. It is one of the biggest legal tax loopholes that rich use. Though the popular sentiment is that rich should pay more in tax and give it to the poor, but in reality, it is the educated upper income middle class that is heavily taxed. Now the next important lesson from this book is rich are very good at inventing money. Robert said, each dollar in my asset column is a great employee, working hard to make more employee and buy the boss a new Porsche. He believed that savers are losers, as the expensive value is increasing day by day, and in some country there is also a negative interest rate by which our saving decreases day by day. So we must invest our money in assets. As by author, investing is the science of money making money. Robert himself loves to invest in real estate. Investing in assets gives us passive income and help you to secure financial freedom. We can create our luck by our actions. Investment is not gambling if you know what you are doing. It's gambling if you just throw money into a deal and praying. Millions can be made from nothing, just more than idea and agreement. The single most powerful asset all we have is our mind. If it is trained well, it can create enormous wealth. Rich people is familiar of this concept and they invent money by creating new ideas, innovations and investing in assets. Remember, all ideas are some people's biggest liability. We should work to learn, not to earn. What our school teach us is to read and memorize. But what the truth is, studying is the key to applying what we learn. Choose teachers who have actually done what they want to do. Job security means everything to middle class. Learning means everything to rich people. Author recommend to young people to seek work for what they will learn more than they will earn. Life is much like going to gym. The most painful part is deciding to go. Once you get past that, it is easy. Next thing in this book is how can we overcome the obstacles. The primary difference between a rich people and a poor is how they manage obstacles. Rich people overcomes the fear. For most people, the reason they don't win financially is because the pain of losing money is far greater than joy of being rich. This is the worthy line. Failure inspires winners, failure defeats losers. Rich people overcome cynicism. Doubts and cynicism keep most of the people poor. A little fear can be a healthy thing, but we shouldn't live in fear of making mistakes. Rich people knew that the mistakes are opportunity to learn. They managed to overcome laziness. Rich dad believed that the word "I can't afford it" shut down your brain, where "how can I afford it" opens up possibilities, excitement and dreams. Be a little greedy. it can beat your laziness. Rich people always overcomes their bad habits. They always learn good habits. They pay themselves first and be financially stronger. They don't spend on something which is against their rules. They also overcomes arrogance and every obstacle in the path. They don't care about criticism. Do what you feel in your heart and to be right, for you will be criticized anyway. Aristotle said it correctly. To avoid criticism, do nothing and be nothing. The author said, I have never met a golfer who has never lost a golf ball. I have never met someone rich who has never lost money. So don't afraid to fail. Don't afraid to take risk. Rather learn to manage risk. There is gold everywhere. Most people aren't trained to see it. At last, there are some processes to develop our powers. Find a reason greater than reality, the power of spirit. Make daily choice, the power of choice. Set a target for day. Make daily routine and stick with it. Choose friends carefully, the power of association. If your circle is not good, separate you from this zone. Remember, your network is your net worth. Master a formula and then learn a new one, the power of learning quickly. Pay yourself first, the power of self-discipline. Pay the part of your earning for you, even if you are in financial crisis. For example, pay 20% of what you earn to buy assets every time. It requires dedication and self-discipline. Pay your brokers well, the power of good advice. Be an Indian giver, the power of getting something for nothing. Use assets to buy luxuries, the power of focus. We should make our asset column strong so that we can buy luxuries. Choose your heroes, the power of myth. Teach and you shall receive, the power of giving. Know all of these things and start today. Most of the people run after money and showing off. According to research, 90% of population buys TV set and only about 10% buy business book. As we are coming to the end, one thing is for you. Financially, with every dollar we get in our hands, we hold the power to choose our future, to be rich, poor, or middle class. That's it, the summary of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. This book is undoubtedly the greatest book on money. This book is really worth reading. I highly recommend you to read this book. Hope you guys enjoy this video and thanks for watching.